Hi friends, welcome to this short tutorial about using artificial intelligence in Photoshop. And this one I am going to be explaining basically how to convert an image into sort of a painting, giving it a painterly look. Either it could be watercolor or oil painting, that depends on you. Now when this kind of a thing should be used, I personally feel that you go out in the field, you take a photo, you take it in adverse situation, and it is maybe a chance in lifetime that you got that particular photo of a wildlife and you want to retain it as a record and you still want to get it to a level where it is worth viewing. So that is the concept which I am trying to explain. Now here, I had gone out about 150 odd kilometers from Pune looking for wolves. There are places where you find wolves in Pune and there are two packs in this particular area and it depends on your luck. You may sight it, you may not sight it, and with a bit of noise or movement, they normally get back and they are no more visible. So if we're lucky, we're watching a crop of corns. We saw this wolf coming out. Now I knew that it will give us only a fleeting opportunity to take a shot. So I just aimed the camera and took a shot without considering the composition, etc. And it was quite far away. So even at about 900 mm, I use a crop sensor camera and I use a lens which at the longest focal length, aperture is not wide enough. It is at about f8, but still it does the job for me. So I got this shot. At least it's a record shot. Now I'm going to work on this in Adobe Camera Raw and Photoshop to get it to something what I would like to be. So let's right click on this. Right now I'm in Adobe Bridge and we are going to open with Adobe Photoshop. So there the image has now opened up in Camera Raw, because since it is a raw file, it will not go directly to Photoshop. First you've got to process it and then take it on to Photoshop. So what I want to do here, first thing is crop it. So go to crop tool here. I am going to grab this and straighten the image a bit, and then I am going to crop it quite a bit because I want to get rid of that pipe because it gives a artificial sort of a look. And we are going to make it quite small. Let's leave it at this. Okay, that is fine for this particular demonstration. You can work on composition till the cows come home, but I'll leave it at this for this particular video. So let's double click and there it's done. And you can see that since I have cropped it, the noise is now quite visible. Now, let me tell you something about the condition in which this photograph was taken. It was early morning. The sun was just about coming out. In fact, it was not there at all because it was very heavily overcast with dark clouds. So it was, a sort of extreme low light situation. The subject was quite far. I've taken this record shot. And because of that, I had to use very higher. So you can see here it was shot at ISO 6400 at 600 mm. That is almost about 900 mm equivalent of a full frame camera. And it was shot at f8 aperture. The shutter speed was just 220 seconds. And normally, when you are shooting, it should be at least 1000 odd, 1 by 1000 odd seconds to freeze any kind of movement. But keeping in view the light, I had to keep it to as low as possible. Now, we have cropped it. There's a lot of this thing. We'll sort it out later. And let's just click here on auto. Now, the camera itself has done a bit of post-processing. That is the Adobe Camera Raw. And I am not going to be tinkering with anything except for I'm going to reduce the highlights a bit to bring in more detail. Once I reduce the highlights, more noises come in. Let's open up the blacks a bit and let's go to Photoshop now. So now from Adobe Camera Raw, once we click here on open, we are into Photoshop and this is the image which we have. We could have cleared the noise in this particular picture using also denoise in Adobe Camera Raw, but I like to use a specialized software known as Topaz Labs because I find that does a pretty good job. It clears up noise and it still retains a lot of detail in your subject. Let's now duplicate this particular image. We are going to make the initial image invisible and we are going to work on this particular layer. This also now we will duplicate. Okay, having done that, let's go down here to Filter and Topaz Labs. Now, Topaz Labs get installed as a plugin within Photoshop once you buy and install it. And it has few options like I have got Denoise, Photo AI and Sharpen. So, we'll work with Topaz Photo AI, click on it. And then there are certain options. Now, the option which concerns me most is Denoise. So, I'm going to click here. And you get these options here, like normal, strong, extensive. I'm going to keep this to normal and I'm going to reduce this to almost about 10 to about 40%, because above that, then a lot of details are lost in your image. Having done that, we are going to export this to Adobe Photoshop. So click on this and it has been processed by the software, and we have, as you can see, a much better situation as far as noise is concerned, but still there is some noise around. Now you'll notice that if I reduce the noise any further, this image may not be actually worthwhile. So let me just merge the visible layers to give you a feel and look. So this is where we started with. You can see a lot of noise was there, but by using Topaz's Photo AI module, we have now cleared up, and you can notice that details in the main subject has been lost, but still it's workable. If you would have done it with Denoise in Adobe Camera Raw, you may not have got this kind of result. You can try it for yourself and have a look and see. Right, friends. Now, having done this, what I want to do is, before I get going, I want to sharpen up this wolf a bit more. So we are going to duplicate this layer again by, I need to put a layer mask here. So let's now add there it is, and let's invert the layer. Okay, so before we do anything more, we are going to sharpen this image a bit. For that, what we are going to do is go down here to Filter, go down to Topaz Labs, go to Topaz Sharpen AI. And it's going to give us this option of, sharpening, etc. I'll increase this remove blur to say about 25%, and I'm going to apply this. Now I want this sharpening just to be on the wolf. Otherwise you can see that it's giving too much of noise in other areas too. Now let's add a mask to this layer. Press Command and I to invert, because I want to apply this sharpness only to the wolf. So I've created a mask, and let's take the brush and let's just work with the wolf. Not happening. So this color here should be white. So click on X, and there now you can see that some detail is coming back to the wolf. We are going to do only the facial area, not others. Okay, now you'll notice that this area is not looking too good to me. So I'm going to press X to get the color here to black and paint on it. Okay. That does it. So we have this image now, which is much better than what it was initially. Let us merge visible layers, and let us see what it was earlier. So this is what we had earlier, a lot of noise in the image. We removed that. When we removed that, some detail was lost. We used the sharpen tool to get some detail on the wolf, and this is what we have now. Now it can be shared, it's a workable image, but I want to, if you notice here, there is still noise. So I want to give it a bit of painterly look, so that your eyes don't get attracted by the noise in the image, and it is still representational. Now we can do that. So what we are going to do is, we are going to duplicate this layer by pressing Command and J. There we have it, and we are going to work on this top layer. What we are going to do now is, we are going to be using the artificial intelligence built within Photoshop to convert this into a sort of a painting, giving it a painterly look. Now, how can we do that? The first thing is to select this particular image. Now, if you select it, with any selection tool, then 100% of the image gets selected, and your AI will not work as we want it to work. So for that, what we need to do is, we'll go to select, and we are going to select this edit in quick mask mode. click on it. Now this has got selected now partially. You can see that this layer is now maroon in color. Right. Having done that, now we are going to go to edit again and we are going to click on fill, and we have few options like black, patterns, but we are going to choose color. So click on it, and when you choose color, you get this color picker. Now these values here are of importance to you. Now leave the H to 0, S to 0 and RGB to 51, 51, 51 or whatever values you get initially. Now this is the one which we need to play with, B. The thing to understand here is that higher the value, the more painterly look you will get, the more reality will be lost. The lower it is, it will be closer to reality. So I normally start at 20% and then work my way up and down depending on what I actually want. So let's click on OK here, and let's also click on OK here. So your image is still, looking mass. So we are going to go to select and just click on this to get out of quick mask mode. Click here. The selection is still there, but it's not visible to you now. Now what we need to do is we need to go to edit and we need to select here generative fill. And here whatever kind of painterly look you want, either it is let's say oil painting or could be watercolor. So let's start with watercolor. Now benefit of converting into giving it a painterly look is that most of the noise will get lost and the image, though not actually a photo look but some kind of a painterly look, still appears good to the eyes. So let's generate. Okay, so you got something looking quite cockeyed, this wolf. So what we are going to do is, you got options here. Let's check. This is also not okay. This is somewhat workable to me. So I'm going to select this, close this, and I want to drop the painterly look which we are getting even low. So we are going to go here and reduce the opacity, let's say to about 50%. Now this looks okay to me. Or maybe we can even make it to 30%. I think let's leave it to 30%. You will notice that most of the noise which was there has got smudged out because we gave it a painterly look. This image is now certainly representative of the fact that I captured a wolf. Albeit it's more of a painterly sort of a look than a proper photo. But notwithstanding, it serves my purpose to share with friends, to say that I saw a wolf and I captured it. This serves the purpose. So let us merge this visible layer totally and merge visible, and let's the original image, make it visible, and let's now see. So we started from here with a lot of noise in the image and we have managed to get to this point. And to me, to share this image, I am not shy of doing it. Basically, I want to tell my friends that look, I captured a wolf. And though it is now not really a photo, but it is having a painterly look, that serves my purpose. Now, basically, I explained this procedure so that you can work on it and you may be able to create your own digital art using unused photos which are lying with you. Something which you thought is not going to look good, you may be able to convert it into some kind of abstract art and use it. Why not? So that's it, friends, for this video. I hope you learned something out of it. You will have to sit and work on it quite deliberately to get the kind of result which you want. This being a demonstration, I was just interested in explaining you the procedure and the method. I have not tried to achieve excellence in this particular photograph. It's up to you to do it in your own images, in your own time, should you like to adopt this kind of approach. Thank you for listening. Take care and happy learning and shooting.